So let's catch up, dude. I
Dude,
appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
This
it
is
too.
David Keesee.
Yeah.
He's a really near and dear friend. We go back in the playing days, baseball days, and lost touch just because he went on, continued to play baseball, pro ball. And then after that, we lost touch. And I look up and this guy's doing some incredible things. And I'm hearing that they consider him the Babe Ruth of sales, something like that. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, man. How you been?
Been good, dude. It's good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, what's really interesting to me, and maybe you have this experience too. I haven't seen you in forever, but I can still see what it's like for you to field a ground ball.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that wild? I still know your style and the glove you use and everything's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you've always been a leader. You've always been that spark plug. So when I saw like the sales things that you speak, it just made sense to me. I'm
Cool.
like, dude, but I want to fill in that gap. Like, how did that happen? Because I know
Yeah.
the ups and downs of baseball and especially minor league baseball, like that probably produced a lot of resilience. But then how did that end up into being on stage and stuff? Like, man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Wild. Well, you and I both have or had a really and have a really good mentor, right? Murphy. Yeah. Sua Bahia. Dad, right? That's like it's like a dad to us. And he was very much that leader, that charismatic leader who could speak in front of crowds and all that kind of stuff. We had good models, right? Like my brother was a good model for speaking and being on camera. Murphy was an amazing model for me as a leader. I still remember so many things from him. When Murphy was actually the one who he was there for that transition to minor league baseball because I was playing for the Saints. Remember that team?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
was playing for the Saints. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to go try out." And I was leading that team. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go try out for this team and I'll be right back." And I remember him going, "Hey, you won't be back."
Yeah. Don't come back.
Yeah. And I said, "Okay." And so I went and I made it. And he's, "I told you you wouldn't be back." And so I ended up playing for a bunch of minor league teams and it was really fun and all that kind of stuff. But there's actually a lot to talk about, man. When you bring up that gap, I don't know that I've ever really sat back and thought about that gap, but it was when baseball ended. I played minor league ball from like 2004 or 5 to like 2009 or 10, something like that. And when it ended, bro, I don't know how it was for you when baseball ended, but I went through a massive depression.
Yeah. Yeah. You're lost.
Dude, I had an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I went through a massive depression, was suicidal. It was really, I was lost and I didn't know what to do. Like many baseball players, people were like, "What'd you major in college?" I'm like, "I majored in baseball, bro." Like, I think I'm one credit shy of a psychology degree. And so I didn't have a degree. I was like, what can I do? And I knew I wanted to pave my own path. As athletes, I always wanted to like make whatever I did, the sky was the limit. I didn't want to go into a job where it was like, okay, you get paid the same no matter how hard you work. And so I went into real estate. First, I went through a bunch of sales positions. I sold for AT&T and T and I sold solar and I sold all this stuff. I was like, I don't like this. And so I went into real estate and I did pretty good. I think the last month in real estate was like 5 sales in real estate. But I got recruited by this guy named Tom Ferry, who's
Mm.
a real estate coach and a trainer, really big, famous guy now, who's the son of Mike Ferry. And I ended up working at his company, working my way from the bottom. That's actually where I got the name, the Babe Ruth of sales, is I started working in his company and I was responsible of the director of sales for North America. And so I was filling the sales floor and making sales from the floor. And that company went from, I don't know, probably 3 or 5 million when I started with it. And I left, it was probably about 50 million. So we
Ooh.
just kept breaking. We really, during that time, we trailblazed what kind of is the real estate industry for coaching today. And then I went as high as I could go in that company. The only people above me were the president, who was family to Tom, and then Tom and like Tom's best friend. So I was like, I can't go any higher. So I started my own thing and been doing that and been super grateful to do it. And that's what I've been doing ever since, man.
And you're coaching realtors.
Yeah. Yep. I basically, not just realtors, like for a long time, it was since 2016, actually since 2011, I've been coaching realtors, coached with Tom, then coached on my own. And it's mostly real estate agents because that's just my background. My family came from real estate. I was doing real estate. All I ever knew was baseball and real estate. But recently, because the marketplace is shifting so much, I'm coaching more business owners. I'm coaching coaches. Have part ownership in an insurance training company that coaches insurance agents. So like I'm starting to have my hand in more businesses and coaching other niches.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
more on the sales side or recruiting side or?
Mostly, right? It's mostly on the sales side. It's sales and transformation. So helping people. Sales just became, I don't even know why. Back in baseball, if you'd have told me, hey, you're going to be a sales trainer, I would have never thought that A, I would be good at sales. But it turns out that sales is a lot like baseball, right? There's skill sets, there's repetition, there's
Mm,
competition, there's all those things. And so I just naturally, I think that's probably why people hire me the most, is probably for their mindset and for sales skills.
mm, mm. And this is all over the country?
Yeah. Yep. All over North America. So some Canadian too. Some Canadian peeps up there and then all over the country.
Nice. But you're here though, California still.
It's funny you say that. You're catching me. See, this is background here. I just moved into a new house in Fort Lauderdale. So I have a house in California now. I
Oh,
have a house in Fort
nice.
Lauderdale. My wife's
Wow.
from here. So she wanted
Okay.
to move here. Where are you at?
Still in Torrance.
Okay, dude. I showed my wife Torrance and she was like, wow. Like she had never seen Manhattan Beach and Torrance and Redondo Beach. And it's funny, dude. We, for God, since 2018 to 2024, we ran our camp there in Hermosa Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. It's like this is
Wow.
my stomping ground. I'm from here, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah.
crazy.
What have you been up to?
Man, so we have four kids.
Nice.
15, just turned 15. Kehlani's a
How
freshman.
is that, bro? You look 30. How is the kid 15? You know what I mean?
I know, dude. Oh man. Just trying to catch up with these guys. She plays soccer, and then Nicholas is 14. He played a little bit of soccer, but he's more of a brainiac. He's a boy, so he plays the games.
Yeah.
And then the twins are 13. They're in their own, literally in their own world with their own language and their own giggling thing. It's crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nuts. But the Nicholas is getting a
How
little
old are
more.
the twins?
They're 13. No, they're
Wow.
12. Twins are 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 15, 14, 12, and 12. And then we have a new puppy, Mochi.
What kind of
Not
puppy?
much of a dog guy, but Mochi kind of, we fell in love with him and we're more cat family. But when the two cats passed away, Pumpkin and Jeter,
Of course.
yeah, we had to do something because the kids were so brokenhearted. So then Mochi came in, and boy, man, I wanted to throw this dude out, man. The first week, I'm like,
What
oh man.
kind of dog is he?
But Mochi is a Havanese, and now he loves me. Hey, boy.
Yeah, my in-laws had two of those.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two of them, Lucas and Jackson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. How long you been in Florida? Just recently, or
Two
were you?
days. 2 days. Yeah. Like this house has still got boxes everywhere. We're in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever envision yourself doing some baseball stuff? Like,
Hell yeah. You know what? Actually, the idea that I got the other day, I've been looking for ways to invest. And so I'm like, you know what? There's two things I'd like to do. I thought, because I played in Fort Worth, Texas, and I played in Kansas City and all these places. And in Fort Worth specifically, which is where I was fortunate enough to win a championship ring, it was really great. We won a title. But the stadium has just been shut down. The team moved to a different location. I was like, dude, what would it be like to start that team back up?
yeah,
Oh, that'd be so sick. And be the GM. I don't even know what a GM would look like, right? But I know I'd be a player's GM. I know that. So yeah, I think about it all the time, man. All the time. Every time that's the blessing and the curse in this as of being that committed to baseball is that for the rest of your life, she won't let you forget her.
man. Yeah. No
Yeah.
matter how old you get and how you can't walk, you'll always have that passion and that
Yep.
zeal.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Fortunately, I one of my students who came from Torrance. His name's Tyrone Taylor. He's playing for the New York Mets right now. He's a center fielder.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, he was in the playoffs and everything. I'm probably going to go. He's here in spring training. I'm going to go see him Friday.
Nice.
So yeah, he's still doing it, man. I think he just turned 30, which can be that's on the older end of professional baseball, but he's in really good health and he's really doing well. Pretty amazing. But it's amazing how that never leaves you. So do I ever think about it, dude? Almost every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Murph is still at it, man.
Dude, I saw it online. I was like, look at dad cranking.
Man, That
He's
dude, yeah,
kicking butt.
and he's doing what his heart
He
like.
always has.
Yeah. So these kids that are learning from him, man, they're at that age because he's at the high school level, and boy, they're gonna talk about transformation. Yeah, they're in for it, man.
I hope they realize who they're being taught by. I wrote in my book, I had a best-selling book named it's called Find a Way. And in that book is Murphy, because I said I've had hundreds and hundreds of coaches, and I can count on one hand how many great ones I've had.
Yeah,
And Murphy was one of them.
yeah.
Murphy, thank God I met Murphy when I did, because I don't think I would have ever gotten a shot to play professional baseball if it wasn't for him.
Wow.
He's an advocate, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were hard nosed, dude. You're definitely a hard nosed player, man. You're good.
So are you, bro. So are you. Like, when I think about who do I want to turn double plays with,
Yeah.
bro, you know what I mean? We used to do that. We used to be like, dude, you want to just take some ground balls, turn some double plays? Dude, it was so fun. Yeah.
We tried to start up a pipeline again from Samoa to here, and we were lucky enough to get some high school kids that graduated the year prior
I
that
remember
still.
you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, so three of the actually five total end up coming up recently to West LA with Roger Hill. So Murph was there, and then Roger was part of the staff, and then Roger took over, and he brought in the three, and then two other guys came. They didn't have the same training in Samoa, but the blessing was that they actually came. It was a big deal in Samoa. So now there's about 700 kids in Little League, and the
Dude.
family that's down there is helping to grow it, but we're staying in touch. And now with Murph really entrenched in the high school level, those kids that came up 3 4 years ago that we helped to train when they came, they're like 12. So now they're primed to come up and maybe even play for Murph here and then get shipped out to college. So yeah, that pipeline is starting back up, so it's pretty.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, playing for Murphy's a gift if you can get the chance to do it.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? There's something I was going to ask you about. Oh, you see what Justin's up to?
Dude, man, have you
Really?
seen his kids? Yeah, it is incredible. Wait till you see what his kids are up to. Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they
Yeah.
doing?
Man, there's some guy, he's not as famous anymore, but his name is like Drake or something like that. Yeah.
He's getting beat up right now, but yeah.
Yeah. So Justin's son produced some tracks for Drake. Yeah. And then
Wow.
some girl that was in Wicked, Ariana Grande or something like that.
Grande, yeah.
Yeah. So Jerem, he's a big time producer. Yep. And then his daughter, obviously, Justin's daughter is on like Disney. She was on The Rocks. She was the Samoan girl in one of the Rocks movie.
That's wild.
Yeah. 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 And then the youngest is probably going to be the next female Tony Finau. She's a golfer.
What?
Yeah. Justin is doing incredible. He's got the podcast with the dudes, right?
Yeah. And wasn't he like a high performance coach or a mindset coach for the Devil Rays?
Yeah, he was the guy with the Rays, and then he was the guy with the Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I didn't know that. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm a big Browns fan. I've been hanging in there, bro.
No way.
The
Yeah.
Browns, watching the Browns as a Cleveland Browns fan, because I don't know if you know that, I lived there for a while.
No, you didn't know
It's
that.
like watching somebody play Madden with a broken remote. I'm like, why is this dude running out of bounds? But I'm in there, bro. I'm a Browns fan.
Wow.
Browns fan. I didn't know he did that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else are you guys up to?
Let's see. The most recent thing was getting those kids off Samoa's. Now there's way more softball girls that left the island that are going to school here.
That's
I think
crazy.
in the last school year, there was about, I don't know, 8 that
Wow.
went. Yeah. And prior to that, there was like 6. So there's a bunch of girls in softball. We're still trying to stay in touch with those guys, just if there's anything that we could do. George Malaulu is definitely involved. Sean Manaea, the guy with the big lefty dude that plays for the Mets. Yeah, he went down this past December for a clinic with the kids. Yeah, so he brought a lot of fanfare and
I'll bet. He brought ESPN down there.
yeah, I think they interviewed him while he was down there. Yeah, so that was really good for the kids, but really great for the sport, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to you just stay in touch with them from a distance and however we can help. But man, it's crazy because when Murph picks up the phone and he recommends somebody, oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
no brainer.
Murph has connections that you don't even know he has. You know what I mean? Like he'll just be like, "Oh, bang!" And you're like, "What, dude? How do you know that guy?" And it's crazy because, like you said, when he makes the recommendation or he talks to the recommendation, like it's done.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. He'd always trip me out with that.
Yeah. 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 So grateful, man. So grateful for that, dude.
Yeah.
Do
He
you
was. Go
get
ahead.
back here? Do you get back here to
Yeah.
California?
Yeah. I still got a house there, and probably going to spend, I don't know, 9 months out of the year here, 3 months out of the year there, maybe 6 and 6. I don't know. We'll see.
Because you can do all your stuff online, but do you actually physically fly to places and do your trainings and
That's
like you?
actually most of it, dude. Yeah, most of them are in-person trainings. The stuff you see online is probably 5% of what I
Wow.
do. Yeah, 95% of what I do. I'm belly to belly, face to face, dude. I like being boots on the ground with people. I believe that real change happens in the presence of the master. You know what I mean? Like in the
Wow.
presence of the master. Yeah, I can watch online. Yeah, I can go to Chat GPT. Yeah, I can go to these things. But it's like watching Murphy, right? Like online versus being there with Murphy. It's completely
Different.
just how he's standing and being. You're like, damn, I feel good. You know, you know what I mean? So I try to do most of that. I try to keep as much old school, I guess you could say, as possible.
Yeah. No, I like that. You learn the most at the feet of the master. Is that what you said?
Yeah, true transformation happens in the presence of the master. Yeah,
That's good. Because
yeah.
when I first came to California, was in Michigan, came here, and then stayed with Murph. One of the best learning experience I had was he just said, "Hey, come on, let's just go to this meeting and you just watch." So after each meeting, we would debrief, and then he would explain this mannerism. I said this thing. Then we went to the next one. So I started to pay even more attention, not only to the other people, what they were saying, but then how Murph would respond. And if it wasn't for that, like in person shadowing, man, I wouldn't be anything.
Yeah. Yep. I learned a lot from him, man. I learned a lot about how to coach people, which is my entire business. I run a coaching company now.
Yeah.
And I learned how to coach people. I learned how to have a positive attitude. He good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's great, right? So I learned so much. And but I was you both of us were blessed because we got to be around him. I got to be around him as you did behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Like it was a gift that really I knew it at the time, and I know it even more now.
So the coaching company coaches high performance sales strategy for transformation
Hmm.
for what in real estate, insurance, but then also coaches, right?
Yeah, coaches. Yeah. It's like baseball, right? Like I believe that my father used to say something about this. They used to say, "Tell us what your son is doing." Like in Little League, like you probably had the same thing, right? You were the dominant player in Little League and all the parents would be like, "How did your son get that good?" And my dad would say, "There's a difference between a baseball player and somebody who plays baseball." David's a baseball player. Your sons are going to the game and playing and they go home and that's it. David goes to the game and he either leaves to go to another team on a game or he goes home and practices and that's all he does. That's what and the reason I say that is what's the difference between somebody who plays baseball and a baseball player? There's a transformation where
Mm,
you just become baseball.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like I look at a baseball and I literally identify with the baseball. My glove, dude, I would sleep with my glove. I would
yeah.
sleep with my bat. And sales is the same thing. Business is the same thing. There's a lot of people that get into business and sales, and they're doing sales, they're doing business, but they're not a salesperson. They're not a marketer. They're not
Mm,
a business owner, right? Like, there's a really good book, if you haven't read it, it's called Atomic Habits.
mm,
And
mm.
in there, he says, who's more likely to write a book? Somebody who is going to write a book or an author? The author's going to dominate. Why? Because they're totally, it's who they become, right? So that's really what my coaching company is about is transformation. I believe that if people want to make more sales, you can't just go get scripts, right? You can't just go watch somebody and copy somebody. It's you ever see those players that like would see the glove that you have and so they go to the store and buy it and they think I'm going to be as good as Robert now.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're not. Robert could have a milk carton on his hand and he's
yeah.
still going to be a great fielder, right? So I think that anything you're going to do and do to mastery, requires transformation.
Okay, that's good. So it is possible if there's a guy that has made sales, he's very knowledgeable, but he lacks in rapport building per se. So therefore he doesn't make a lot of sales, but it's possible for that person to be a high performer,
Yeah.
even though if he's not born a salesperson.
Yeah, I can turn anybody into a better salesperson. Dude, it's a lot of times it has to do with one of the biggest ahas in baseball. Like these things are parallel, right? One of the biggest things I ever learned was that approach trumps mechanics, right? Like
Whoa.
if I sit here and work on my mechanics on my swing,
Oh.
that will yield a little bit of results. What was wild to me, bro? I took my swing at 14 years old when I was in the minor leagues, and I put it next to my minor league swing, put him up on a TV screen. Because Murphy had that system. Remember that hitting system he had? I put it up next to each. When the front foot landed, the swing was identical. From 14 to 28 years old. Dude, I've been working on my swing for over a decade. And the swing, once my front foot hit the ground, was the same. What was different was how I approached hitting. At 14, I tried to yank everything out of the park and hit home runs. At 28, I tried to use the middle of the field and hit the ball to second baseman, which kept me on point. It's the same thing in sales. Mostly the reason I can get good results with clients and they get really good results is because most people are trying to fix this. They're trying to fix the mechanics. And I'm like, fix that. And it shifts who they're being, and automatically the right words come out. If I'm trying to use the middle of the field in baseball, the right mechanics show up. People don't realize, they think if I just go to ChatGPT and get some scripts, if I just go to these things and get some scripts, I'll know what to say. It's, yeah, but you're still a person who acts weird in sales.
Yeah.
So that, I believe that transformation's required, but I know what buttons to push. It's so funny that we're having this conversation. One of my really good friends, he's like a brother to me, is Tony Moda, who's the son of Manny Moda. Manny Moda?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the son of, I was just talking with him last night. I haven't talked to him in a while. He just came back to the United States. And one of the things that he taught me was Manny Moda was telling me, listen, you got to look for one good pitch and you got to try to drive the ball at the second baseman. And there's a difference between somebody who's trying to master the swing and somebody who's trying to be a good hitter. There's a big difference. And when I learned that, it applied to everything, especially sales. So when it's like, hey, can I make anybody a good salesperson? Yes. Because I'm going to shift who they're being. I call it the roots. I don't try to change the fruit. I go down and I pull out the roots, and now they're able to plant good seeds and naturally have good fruit.
Man, so positive thinking, self-reflection, a positive outlook on yourself. Is that part of it?
A little bit of it. Yeah. Yeah. Positive thinking's tough for people because if they have negative thinking, you tell them be positive, your brain will actually rebound the other way. Right? Like it'll be like, I'm positive. And then something in life will hit you and you're like, damn it. You know, you get negative. What I have found is more helpful is to live in neutrality. So if I want to go from negative to positive, there's this stop right in here called neutrality, which is I'm not positive about it. I'm not negative about it. I have no opinion about it. It's all good. I'm totally unattached. If somebody can learn to be unattached to consequences or to the opinion of other people, they can be a great salesperson.
Wow, dude, that's going to be your next book. That should be your next book, man.
Yeah.
That being unattached, I think it's a huge issue because everybody takes it personal.
Everybody. Yeah. I think as athletes, we've been trained to not, right? Yeah. Like we've been yelled at and we want it. Yes, correct me. I want to be better. Yell at me. In fact, when I have coaches that are too nice, I'm like, dude, hit me in the solar plexus with it. Let me have it. Be like, hey, that sucks. You know what I mean? And here's why. I remember Murphy one time. Where were we? I can't remember if I think it was the Saints, but we were at Harbor. I think it was Harbor City College. Mm-hmm. And I think you might have been here. And he said, hey, everybody, because we were all slacking. Like we weren't hustling. We weren't giving it our all. Dude, this gives me goosebumps, this story. He goes, hey, everybody, bring it in. Do you remember this? He's like, bring it in. And he goes, no, bring it in closer. Bring it in closer. And we were really close. And he was in the middle and was at home plate. And he said, listen, I'm all for having fun and coming out here and having a good time. But damn it, boom. And he throws down the ball. And Murphy, booming. He's scary, bro. He's scary. He threw down the ball. He's, I will not let you disrespect the game. And
Mm.
dude, I remember that. And I was like, dude, this fires me up.
Yeah.
Like we come from that, like direct confrontation. Like I believe, bro, I believe, and this is one of the things that I has really served me. I've learned that confrontation is love.
Wow.
If I love you, I will
Wow.
confront you. It's indifferent. See, people think that the opposite of love is hate. It's not. As a matter of fact, people that are married know that love and hate are pretty close. They're pretty
Mm.
damn close if you're married, right? You're like, oh, nothing can push my buttons like her. But the opposite of love is indifference. You don't want to be indifferent, right? So if I confront you, it's because I care.
Wow.
So I welcome it. I
Yeah.
welcome it from my wife. I welcome it from my parents, from my friends. If I've got egg on my face or I've got spinach in my teeth, tell me. Don't sugarcoat it. I'm all good. I'm not going to take things personally. So, like, how does that transition to sales? Somebody's like, screw you. I don't want to talk to you. It's like, I didn't want to talk to me either, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just don't take it personal.
How do you turn that into a company-wide culture? Indifference, like resilience.
It's not necessarily indifference. It is, and it's interesting. We were having this conversation because they asked me a similar question. They said, how do you stay driven
Mm-hmm.
but unattached?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, what makes you think that they have to go together? Here's what it is. I'm totally committed to the direction and I'm unattached to the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's if I let my first at bat affect me and I get so mad, what's the odds I'm going to go 0 for 4? It's high,
Yeah.
right? If the umpire gets in my head and I'm mad at the umpire my first at bat, now every at bat I'm carrying that. But I think what ends up, this is how you reconcile it, right? Like I'm totally committed, I'm totally driven to this direction, and I'm unattached. And here's why. Have you ever heard of the story of the ancient Chinese farmer?
No, it sounds cool though.
Dude. So there's this Chinese farmer, right? And he has these horses, these wild horses that he tamed, and they're great, they're amazing horses. And one of them gets away. And it runs away. And he's with all the villagers that night. They're all having drinks and dinner and stuff. And they said, oh my God, isn't this terrible? Your best horse, it ran away. And he just responds and he goes, we'll see. And so about a week later, he's sitting there farming and the horse comes back, but it brings with it 5 other new horses just like it. Boom, 5X's his
Yeah.
stock, right? Then that night, he's with the villagers having drinks and they say, oh my God, isn't this amazing? This is good fortune. He just says, we'll see. And so about a month later, the son, his only son, is out there training the horses, and training him and training him and training him. And he falls off one of them and he breaks his leg. And again, he's with the villagers at dinner and they're like, isn't this terrible? If you didn't get those horses, your son's foot wouldn't be broken. And so about a month later or a week later, the military comes by and says, listen, we need people on the front line. It's basically a suicide mission, but we got to recruit your son. He says, no problem. He's right there. They're like, we can't take him. He's got a broken leg. Never mind. And so the villagers that night, they're like, oh my God, your son didn't have to go in the military. If he didn't fall off that horse, if he didn't break his ankle, he would have had to go in the military. And he doesn't, isn't that good fortune? He gets to stay with you now. Isn't that good fortune? And he just goes, we'll see. The point of the story is there's, at any point, you can never tell what is good fortune and what is bad fortune. Because so many times, have you ever had something that happened bad to you and you look back on it and you're like, I'm so glad that happened? Totally. You ever had something good happen to you and you're like, I wish that would have never happened, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can never tell. So there's no reason to be attached to outcomes because it happens. It's just your perception if it's bad. It's just your perception if it's good. So if that's the case, why not just make all of it good? And if you can't do that, why not make all of it whatever? It just is what it is. It's not good. It's not bad. I'll give you an example. If I go 0 for 4 with 4 line drives at somebody, did I have a bad game? No, but I used to think that. I used to get so pissed. And what it would do is it would create slumps. All of my slumps started mental and bled into the physical.
Mm.
I would line out. I'd line out. I remember this with Murphy. I'm like, Murph, is my timing off? Maybe I need to hit it a little earlier. Are you insane, bro? Like, your job is to get a good pitch and put wood on it. And you're over here trying to guide the baseball around the baseball field? What are you, out of your mind? Dude, it's just bad luck. Just keep swinging it. But I would never do that and mess with my head. So it's just like, there's no reason to be attached to the outcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I can see how that can become transformational.
Yeah. How did you listen? Like when I think of you, I always think super positive attitude. Like, how did you acquire that?
Curiosity, just from Samoa, I'm like the George in the jungle. Everything is new to me. It's wow, that's interesting. That's cool. It's oh man. So I just that innocence, um, lost it for a little bit because I became cynical and struggled with it during baseball too. Think too much, but then it
Yeah,
good. Nice job, nice job. Once
dude.
I was around Murph, and that's all I heard, and then I saw that's actually how he lived and believed.
How he lives, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it changed everything. Yeah, so now my kids, even when they're at 4, 5 years old, we're running around. Somebody falls down. Good job. Come on, you're okay. Yeah, and they're like, "What do you mean? Okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah.
keep going."
Murph is highly influential. Like I remember there was a strategy I learned with coaching kids because I was working for his academy at the time, which was a gift. God, it's like getting a free scholarship, right?
Yeah,
Getting paid to learn. It was great. And I watched him work with these little kids, and I didn't know how to coach little kids. I'm like, I don't know what I tell the kid to do. And I'm watching him, and the kid would hurt his hand. He'd be like,
yeah,
and he would go, "Oh my God, what happened to your foot?" And he
yeah,
goes, nothing. He's no, there's something wrong. He was so good. I'm like, oh my God. And then it occurred to me, dude, I'm like, oh my God, he does that to me.
yeah,
He just does it in an adult way. Oh my God.
yeah,
He's really smart. So you basically did it by watching your mentors and then modeling them.
yeah, yeah. Because I believed in them, and if it was possible, yeah, of course it's possible for me too.
Yeah. 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 Weren't you doing something like some music and stuff like that for a while?
Yeah, that was after baseball. So my heart's always been ministry, and I've
Yeah.
always loved music. And once I stopped playing, that gave me more time to write a little bit, to go into the community and be a part of it, and then using music as the bridge to the youth and the youth leaders and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely fun. Still love music, and but not as active as I used to be. Now I'm a little more active with the kids, and Nicholas is a lot more involved in church and trying to essentially do ministry too. I take him out, we go and evangelize, or we'll go and talk to
Yeah.
people, just random people. So he's growing in skill set of presenting, and he likes to debate. So he's learning that. Yeah, man, he's pretty good at it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did you say? Do you even know how to spell that? You sound one?
He's a debater. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, he's only
Yeah.
4.
Our politicians could use a little debate skills. They're very bad at it. Yeah,
Yeah, politicians. Wow.
dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you basically full-time dad invested in that, and that's awesome.
Yeah. I learned a lot of marketing stuff through the music, and then also through baseball, just how to promote, how to talk to people, meet people. So I've been doing that for work the whole time
Hmm.
since baseball.
Yeah. What's the biggest lessons you've learned?
It's not about you, and the don't take it personal part. Yeah, it's not about you. So you might have a great idea, but if it doesn't hit home with the person that you're trying to communicate with, and if it's not important to them, then it's just a good idea.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, and I try to teach that to the kids too. Don't take it personal. Be humble, and always think about the other person. Yeah, what's important to them, and then what's their perspective. Because if you say one thing and they're hearing it from a different perspective, or if they're saying something and they mean what they're saying, but you're interpreting it differently, then that's a disconnect. So if I'm yelling at you, you know that I'm yelling because I love you and I want to teach you. So don't take it personal. Don't be like, okay, and then we'll keep working.
Yeah, dude, those two lessons you just taught right now are life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody listening to this just wrote down those two things and only focused on those, like that will make you so much money in business. I find that the biggest reason that people struggle with marketing is because they go, what logo should I have?
Mm,
It's basically, what should I do to impress them?
yeah.
Rather than go, what does this person, what are they up to? What is their problems? What do they worry about? What excites them? They don't work from the customer backward. In other words, the way you say, it's not about you. Your business is never about you. The sales was never about you. If somebody can learn, that's incredible. And then the other thing you said that I think is just so profound is that you're like, there's what you say, and then there's what they hear.
Ye-
And the way that I say that is the meaning of your communication is the response you get, regardless of your intention.
Mm.
I have to take responsibility for how you hear it.
Mm.
Now, is it my fault if you don't get it? No, but it's my responsibility. There's what I say and there's what you hear. And if I'm going to be a good communicator, I need to take responsibility for that. So I say it this way and you don't hear it. What can I do? I can align, try this way, which your child probably knows really well as a debater. Takes this angle and it doesn't work. He's, I'm just going to try this angle. Yeah, dude, and you probably taught him that. And that probably makes him such a great debater. So well done, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
Man.
good lessons.
And I had to learn the hard way. Yep. Yep. I had to learn, get offended and all that stuff. And then.
Me too, bro. Me too. Ridiculously offended. I was so easily offendable.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'd be like, hey, why do you catch the ball like that? What are you talking about? It didn't look good. I was so offended.
Yeah. Yeah. One saying, I don't know who it's from, but I really try to live by is you can't offend a dead man.
Huh.
Yeah. Because they're indifferent, right? They've given themselves over. They're humbled. It's not about them. They've died to themselves, and you can't offend a dead man.
Yeah, and they've given their body back.
Yeah.
They've rented it and leased it, and it was great, and now they've given, and we will all give it back. You know, that's another concept to get deep. That's another concept that I learned is that you don't own anything.
Mm.
I asked a mentor, I said, it was very spiritual and all this kind of stuff, and I said, I'm having a hard time, it was out of a meditation, I said, having a hard time discerning, am I dreaming now and when I'm awake when I go to sleep, or am I dreaming when I sleep and I wake up here? And I said, what's real? And he said, that is real, which doesn't change. He said, your body is not actually, you don't own it. For instance, can you just stop your heart from beating right now? No, your body does its own thing. It's not your body, it's God's body. Your idea, you think that was your idea? Who do you think put it there? Get all Schmeagol, Lord of the Rings. I'm like, my idea. That is God wanting you to put that on the inside. That's why it was put in your heart. That wasn't your idea. You didn't come up with that. You don't. People think they own their own house. Don't pay your taxes. Let's see how fast you keep that house. You know what I mean? You're renting everything.
Yeah.
Even this body, you will give this body back to where it came from. So I love your saying, right? Like you can't offend a dead man. In other words, you can't offend who you really are. You've been dead way longer than you've been alive.
Mm.
You were dead for billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be alive for this long, and then you'd be dead for billions of years.
Right.
And you're all tripping over this.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that saying, dude. That's a good saying.
Yeah.
Can't offend a dead man.
Don't take it personal, kids. Don't take it personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a mentor say that. He's show up, do your best, don't take things personally, and don't be attached to the outcome.
I like that. Don't be attached to the outcome thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the outcome really causes what it does. If you're attached to the outcome or you're attached to the opinion of other people, it causes fear. For example, how are you going to hit a home run if you're afraid of striking out?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be aggressive and you got to get a good pitch and you got to really go after it. If you're like, I'm going to try not to strike out, dude, you're out. You are out. You imagine, God, I hope they don't hit the ball at me. God, this ground, it's got a lot of bad hops. We just get attached to what that might look like. It's what causes the fear. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? That's because the outcome has been handled for you.
Yeah.
What if you just accepted the outcome is already handled for you?
Right.
Yeah. You know what's trippy? The first 9 months of your life, everything was done for you.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't like, oh my God, is my nose coming in? I don't know if my nose is coming in. Like you were just being done. And then after 9 months, we pop out and we say to God, hey, appreciate the help. We'll take it from here.
Yeah.
Like he's always taking care of you. Why won't he take care of you? Continue to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just no reason to be attached. Boy, it's a hard lesson, though.
Really deep.
It is. It's a hard lesson to learn. But you learned it. It's almost, you said pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. It's tough, though. It's hard to get there. But I think it's possible. Yeah. As long as it's taught. Yeah, the more you teach it, the more you teach it, the more you model it. I think.
People need, what I would say, not only should it be taught, but dude, you've learned it. If people just get around you and they see how you react to life, just like you did with Murphy,
Yeah.
they'll just do it. Human beings are natural modelers. Like, where did you learn to communicate? You
Mm.
watched your parents. If
Hmm.
people just get around you, listen to you, they'll just start thinking like that too.
Yeah, which is
True.
why it's important to do the in-person events.
Yeah. Transformation happens in the presence of the master. Yep.
That's so good.
Yeah. That's why I like to hang out with you, dude. I loved hanging out with you because you were such a good baseball player. Like, how do you become a good baseball player? You hang around good baseball players. That's
Yeah.
how. And you'll get good really fast. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, because I'm into golf, right? They said, would you rather play one round with Tiger Woods or play at Augusta?
Hmm.
Famous course. I said, Tiger Woods all day long. They said, why? I said, because playing at Augusta, I will leave there and still be a crappy golfer.
Hmm.
But if I golf with Tiger Woods, it's impossible to not be a better golfer once the round is over. So I
Yeah.
want to be around that dude.
Yeah. Who's a good golfer, dude? Travis is
Really?
nailed. Yeah.
Dude, Travis has all these hidden talents,
He
bro.
does, dude.
Like, it doesn't even shock me anymore. It doesn't, like, the kid could have been anything. Like, he can sing, he can
Yeah.
play golf, he's a good
Yeah.
baseball player. The dude's just good at everything. He's like a
Yeah.
renaissance man, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. He's funny, man. But
I love,
yeah,
and he's a comedian. The dude's hilarious. Like, what's he up to now?
I'm not sure, but I know he's pretty heavy in sales. Yeah,
Really? Of
he's a top performer for one of the companies that he was
course he
at.
is.
Yeah, even the previous ones.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look him up right now.
Yeah.
There he
He's
is. Big old smile, bro. Look at him. I love
funny.
that guy, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome. Sweet, dude.
Man, this has been great, dude. I'm gonna text Murph. I'm gonna publish this and then send it to him. And tell him, dude, you guys should connect, man. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I've been talking to him on social media and stuff, but I would love to. I should probably hop on a call with him, dude. I miss him.
Yeah.
I think about you. I think about that whole crew all the time, bro.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a crew. And funny story before we wrap up, dude. I'm getting married. I was getting married last year, right? And on the way to the wedding, me, my mom, and my brother, we fly. The wedding was in Georgia, but we flew into Orlando because we wanted a direct flight, and we drove up to Georgia. Well, we stopped in my hometown where I grew up playing Little League, and we stop, and there's a game, and I'm like, oh, we gotta stop.
Yeah.
It was really cool, dude, and I got really emotional. In fact, this was my favorite award in baseball ever. They had a board with all of the kids in this little league that made it to professional baseball, and I was number 2 on it, dude. I almost cried. I say almost because I actually did cry, but I don't want to seem like that. But we're there watching the game, and this kid is up to bat, and they change pitchers, and the pitcher's tall, and the kid turns to the umpire and goes, that's not fair. And he's 15, bro. This kid's 15, 16 years old. It's not like he's 10. And that's not fair. He's too tall. And everybody's like, what? And the parents are like, he's too tall. He shouldn't be in there. I'm like, can you imagine me saying that with Murph at the third base box? He'd be like, come here. And so the story keeps going. He goes, he's too tall, right? So he gets up and he goes, and the pitcher throws the ball because the umpire's like, play ball. And the pitcher throws the ball, boom, off his head.
No.
And he turns around and he's, see ya. And the parents lose their mind. And there's one parent, a dad in the crowd that goes, it's his fault. He stepped in the box.
Yeah.
He was looking at the pitcher. And it occurred to me, bro, what happened? Our crew back in the day were ballers, bro. We were like stone cold killers, bro, competitors. And then I
Yeah.
see this kid. What happened? I was like, this isn't my little league, bro. This isn't.
No.
Take the name down. I think it was like the B or the C league, bro. But have you noticed a difference between the way kids play now versus then? I feel like kids there, we took each other out in double plays and I feel like kids might be a little softer, no?
A lot softer, and I think a lot more worried about the way they look and how they move.
Yeah.
The whole AAU kind of culture and the perfect game culture, it's different. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
same. The grit and the same passion and the same hard nose, it's not the same.
No, it's so weird. I wonder what caused it or what that is. I just noticed it. But dude, we were When I think back, dude, like those nights at Wilson Park late, Murph would just go till the lights stayed on. It would be like 11 o'clock at night. Boom, smoking balls at it, dude. We were ballers. I miss those days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some great pictures, man, of the Saints. And then I remember seeing one of you in it. Yeah, it's
yeah.
blown up. Yeah, he's
Where?
got actually. Murph has them.
What?
Yeah, there's some really nice pictures. I should go over, take snap it, and then send it
Dude,
over, man.
do you have my phone number?
I think I do. Is it the 661?
Yeah.
Let me make
Yeah,
sure.
text them to me, dude.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
714 number?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, text them to me, dude. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. He'll be thrilled to listen to this, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dad, man.
Oh
Mom
man.
and dad. They were like
Yeah,
parents to me, dude. They changed my life. Yep. Cool, dude. Yeah, send it to him, and I'm gonna give him a call too. I think he still has the same number.
same number.
Yeah.
I'll text you the number I have too, just in case.
Okay, sounds good, dude. Dude, this was awesome.
Dude, great catching up,
Yeah,
man.
great catching up. Let's do it again, okay?
Yeah, appreciate you.